If you want to know if copywriting is a good business opportunity for you, then watch till the end of this video. My name is No Limit Eddie, and on this channel, I talk entrepreneurship, business, and travel. I'm a 23-year-old American who is currently living in the country of Egypt. If that sounds interesting to you, then subscribe to my channel. All right, let's get into the video. All right, cool. So you're probably on the internet. You've been searching around for different online business opportunities. You're coming across different things, Shopify, dropshipping, Amazon FBA, and every once in a while you keep hearing this word, copywriting, and more importantly, probably freelance copywriting. And you're like, okay, what the heck is this copywriting stuff? I don't know anything about, putting a registered R above a word, or I have no idea how to register music with these companies. No, like what is copywriting exactly, right? So copywriting, the way that I describe it, is writing words that get people to pull out their wallets and demand that you take their money. That is copywriting, right? It's the ability to write words that influence people to buy, right? And that is how I describe copywriting, okay? So it has nothing to do with like if somebody on YouTube says, oh, my video got copyright claimed. That's copyright with an R. We're talking about copyright as in copy, W-R-I-T, like right. All right, now that you understand kind of what copywriting is, how do you actually make money from it? Now, there are two main ways to make money with copywriting, right? Number one is the way that everybody kind of recommends and that everybody pushes. And I'm not the biggest fan of this way, but this is the way that it works, right? It's the freelancing business model. So this is where you go out and you find companies. These can be local companies to you, or they can be online companies. So let's go ahead and give examples of both, all right? Now, we explained that copywriting is writing words that get people to pull out their wallets and buy. So every business wants a copywriter. Every business needs a copywriter. So you may go to a local business. You may have a local pizzeria in your town, and they may take out advertisements every single week in the local newspaper, for example, right? I'm not sure if newspapers are even around. I don't know. When I was in the States, they still had them. They would still get them delivered to people's houses. But I'm not sure if they kept doing them or if they stopped. I don't know. But yeah, so let's say they're taking out an advertisement every week in a local newspaper, and you've developed a skill of copy, you know how to do it now, and you're reading the ad and you're like, this ad is good, but it can be better. Like as you begin to understand copy and understand influence, understand persuasion, you can kind of see gaps in other people's copy and other people's philosophy, and you may say, I can write a better ad than this. So you may go to the local pizza spot and say, hey, Bill, the manager of this pizza spot, or the owner of the pizza spot, like, if I was able to double your conversion rate from this ad, in the newspaper, would you be interested in that? Of course, he's going to say, yeah, of course. I would love more customers. I would love more people to come in and shop with me. How much is it? Hit him with a price, $250. Oh, okay, boom, okay, sure. Go ahead and rewrite it. You rewrite it. You rewrite the advertisement in the newspaper. He gets more traffic. Boom, he's happy. Now, anytime he needs to write anything, he's going to call you to, go in and write it for him. Now, simultaneously, you can also do this for online businesses, right? So if somebody, let's say you're watching a YouTuber and this YouTuber sells courses, right? And you're like, I love this YouTuber. I love what he does. And you go onto his page. He sells courses about how to flip cars, for example. And you've got your skill of copywriting. You're really good at it. You look on his page. You're like, man, I know I can write something better. I know that he's not touching on this pain point. He's not addressing this objection. He's not, whatever it is inside of his copy. And you realize that he can do a little bit better. Like you can go to him, email him, find out his email him. Hey, Clarence, you're doing a really great job, marketing. I love your freaking channel, man. It's dope. However, I was seeing on your sales page, you're missing a couple of things that I think will really help you to increase your sales. Would you mind if I rewrote your page for you? Oh, sure. I rewrote your page. How much is it going to cost? $500. Okay, sure. Send it. Boom. Right? And that's kind of how you can do it. So that's kind of like the freelance business model. Now, that's one most people will recommend to you and will suggest that you start out with. Now, the pros of that business model is that, number one, there's an unlimited amount of businesses that are out here, right? Unlimited amount of businesses out here. And number two, a lot of times, if you do a really good job, you will get referrals. So if you do a good job with Clarence and his automotive course, well, when Clarence is talking to his other buddies who also probably sell automotive courses as well, he's gonna say, yo, I hired this dude and he was a great copywriter, da da da. Now, the second thing that's really good about this business is that you have the potential for MRR, right? That is monthly recurring revenue. So if you do, let's say you write emails for somebody and you say, okay, every month I'm going to write 10 emails for you and I'm going to charge you $100 per email. So that's 100 times 10, $1,000 a month. And you can get you can get that business owner on a monthly recurring charge. So every month you get him billed $1,000, $1,000, $1,000. Now, once again, if you just continue to stack those people, you can build up your income to a substantial level, and you can have it pretty much stable. So that's a really cool thing about this business model as well. All right. So that's the freelancing way of doing it. The second way of doing it is a way where I started off, right? This is kind of how I discovered copywriting, and it was selling your own products. So for me, I had an Etsy shop, and I was selling items on Etsy. Well, I wasn't selling items on Etsy, and that was a problem. So I had to shop, and I had items in there, but I couldn't get people to really like buy. I started to research, like, how do I get people to buy? How do I like get more sales? And that's when I came across copywriting. And so I realized, okay, my descriptions are freaking weak. It's just like clear plastic case, made in Taiwan, you know, holes for the charger. Like it just was very weak description, a very lackluster description. And so I started to like learn, okay, what is influence and what is persuasion? What are these different tactics? And then my product descriptions changed. It went from just having facts, made here, is of this material, this size for this phone. It went from that to, you absolutely need this phone case. You know, your friends will all ask you, where did you get it from? You know, this is gonna change your social status. You know, you're gonna be the most popular person in your school because this case is so unique, it's so different, it's so interesting, right? And that's kind of how it went, and that's kind of how it changed. And so people were beginning to be like, okay, like, yo, like, I need this case. Like, I can't live without this case. Like, this is going to change my life. And so I learned how to write copy really well for like product descriptions. And then that copy was able to transition onto all the things that I do now. And so I've made tens of thousands of dollars selling on Etsy. You know, I have a video on my channel. I think it's still up. I don't know. But where I told my sister the same thing. She made like 11K her first year. She's over 15,000 now. I'm not sure where she's at as far as earnings. I created a whole course about selling on Etsy, you know, and so like that's where my whole journey started. And so I feel like the optimal way to learn how to write copy is to do it for yourself, right? And so the way this business model works is that you need to go onto a platform that already has traffic, and you need to get in front of those people with using a skill called SEO, search engine optimization. That's pretty easy to learn. And so I will go to like an Amazon.com or Walmart.com or Etsy or eBay or any of these platforms that already have a lot of traffic that you can get in front of by like just like signaling your hand, waving your hand, using SEO. And then you write some really, really, really amazing product descriptions, right? And that is exactly all I would do, and that's how I would learn copywriting. Now, the reason why I really like this way of doing it is that you're starting off working for yourself. Right? You're starting off working for yourself, and you're going to be able to have the confidence and the conviction that your ability to write copy is there, because you're going to know, okay, I've sold thousands of dollars online. I know what I'm doing when it comes to writing words. Once you can have that conviction and that confidence, it will help you if you do decide to transition more so to the agency model, because you already you've established that you know how to make money writing words. And on top of that, you know, this business model of writing it for yourself can become a lot more passive depending on how you do it, right? Like if you do it the right way, let's say you do it with Amazon FBA, do it the right way, it can become very, very automated, right? You just write the copy once, and then you just continue to just be managing the inventory. That's all you would have to do. You know, if you're doing it, and let's say you're selling digital products, even better. If you're selling digital products on like Etsy, you create that product one time, put it on there, write some really good copy, and every day you're selling, and you haven't to do zero work at all. So that's kind of a cool thing as well. Now those are the two different business models that you can do, right? And you can do it the freelancing business model, or you can do it like product description business model. And I recommend product description because it's an easier setup cost. You know, it's almost $0 to start, and you know, if you do it right, it can become very, very passive. You know, so I like that idea. And then you don't want to work with clients and you don't know if you can actually provide them results. So by doing it on yourself first, you know you can provide them results because you've done it for yourself. Now, how do you know if copywriting is the right business model for you? Right? Now, again, I don't sell any courses related to copywriting. I don't teach copywriting, at least not yet. You know, and so like I don't have any desire to necessarily push you into like you have to write copy. It's just something that I do. It's been allowed me to live here in Egypt. I'm in my apartment. I've been living out of the country, out of America now for like over almost 2 years, I think, over 2 years maybe. I've been to 4 different continents, and I'm 23. So like it's a pretty cool life that copywriting has enabled me to have. But I don't really view myself as a copywriter. I view myself as an entrepreneur who has the ability to write copy, and that has been a really, really important distinction. There's basically 3 key traits that somebody should have if they will be a good copywriter, right? And I'll say this as well as a disclaimer. Like, if you don't know how to write well in school, it has no bearing on your ability to write good copy, right? Because I failed English 9th grade year, 2nd semester. I then went on to write 2 Amazon best-selling books. Boom, boom, pop them up on the screen probably. You know, like, the writing copy is about influence, all right? So the first thing you need, right, you need to be naturally influential. If you're not a naturally influential person, I don't think copywriting will be the best business model for you. And here's what I mean by naturally influential. If you were somebody who in school, the things that you said caught on and other people started to say them, if you influenced the lingo of your school, if you were somebody who in school, you started to participate in certain activities and everybody else started to participate in those same activities, if you started to move and act and believe in certain activities and other people started to believe in them as well, that's influential, right? That's how you can tell if you're influential. If you were in high school and nobody recognized you, you didn't influence anything, you just went along with the trends, probably not. You're probably not going to make the best copywriter. This is just from my belief. Another way of influential, if you were a kid and your parents told you no, that you can't get this thing, and you didn't find a way to convince them to get you that thing, you're not influential. Right? And if you're not an influential person, I don't think copywriting will be the best for you. I've gotten really good at copywriting because my foundation is already influential, and then I learned about courses, about books, about training and things like that that taught me how to understand the mind of human beings even more to become even more influential. So I think you should be naturally influential. All right. Number 2. You need to have a desire to understand the human experience. You need to, if you have a lust for wanting to understand, why does our brain work this way? Why do we buy this thing but not buy this thing? Why is it that Rolex can charge $30,000 for a watch but Casio can charge only $100? How do these things work? Right? If you have a deep desire to understand how the human brain works, and psychology and influence and the science behind it all, right? I'm interested in parts of the brain, the frontal cortex, and amygdala, and where does fear come from, and just all these different things that are inside of the mind. If you can, if you have a true, I almost call it a lust. I'm gravitated to things like that. If you have something like that, then I think copywriting will be really, really amazing for you, because not only will you be able to learn the science, but you'll be able to experience it. You'll be able to, okay, I read this in a book. Let me apply it. Let me try it, and let me experiment and see if this works. And that's such a cool feeling when you can write some words to evoke a particular emotion, and you see that emotion evoked. That is it's powerful to me. So I really like copywriting for that aspect. And I think if you are somebody who wants to understand the human mind a lot, that's a really good way to you'll be a good copywriter. Then number 3, like I just talked about in number 2, experiment. If you're somebody who's a perfectionist, copywriting will not be for you, because there is no way to determine if my copy is perfect except for releasing it to the market. And the quicker you can release it to the market, the quicker you can get feedback, right? The quicker you can get feedback. I've launched things that I thought would do well, and they don't do well. I've launched things that I thought would do bad, and they freaking crush it. So it's there's so many different variables that you just don't know, but you just have to test, right? You have to say, okay, I know the emotion I wanted to evoke. I know who I was speaking to. I understand the purpose of it. I understand, I'm using these tactics and using these tricks and using these, procedures. Let's see if the market bites. You have to see, let's see if the market bites. In the Bible, I'm a big fan of the Bible as well. I will make you a fisher of men. You don't go fishing and put a McDonald's hamburger on a reel, right? Because just because you like McDonald's doesn't mean the fish likes McDonald's. You put on a line on a hook what the fish is most likely to bite at, right? And so when you can make that distinction, that's kind of what's required to write really, really effective copy at a high level for people. So with that being said, if you think copywriting might be a good venture for you, you want to know, how do I get started? Well, I put together what I call the Copywriting Starter Kit. All right, link in my description. You can sign up for my email list, my email newsletter, and I will go ahead and send that over to you immediately. All right. The cool thing is I haven't even created this list yet. I have no idea what's going to be on this list as I'm recording this video. I'll create that list after I record this video. Right. And that's what I'm talking about. Like rapid experimentation. I think people might be interested in a copywriting starter kit. Let me create one and see if they are. Right. It's just rapid implementation is super important. So yeah, on that list, I'm going to have, books that I recommend. I'm going to have videos that I recommend you watch, webinars that I recommend you sign up for, or the replay that are already on YouTube. Just things that I found that were very helpful for me, right? As far as understanding influence, understanding psychology, understanding copywriting, right? So I'm going to have all those listed on just probably it's a Google Doc, or maybe I'll make it nice and put it on Canva. But I'll probably start on a Google Doc and send it out to you so you can get an understanding of what's required to write really good, really effective copy. Once you sign up for my email newsletter, basically I probably would just send out an email once a week, every other day. I don't know the segmentation yet, but send out an email newsletter just talking about and documenting what I'm doing in my business. So with that being said, subscribe to my email newsletter, link in the description. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I'm going to make a lot more videos about copywriting, about business, about entrepreneurship on this channel. Also, if you're somebody who wants financial freedom, I'm going to be able to do what you want, when you want, how you want it. I've done it. You might want to learn from me. So hit the subscribe button and stay tuned to that. Join my channel membership as well. I want to get more active in my channel memberships. And other than that, man, I will see you guys in the next one. Yah Willie. Shalom.